An open-world game is perhaps one of the toughest to develop. Studios need to account for the world's design and its activities and incorporate features like weather, wildlife, vegetation, and the player's relation to it all. Throw in expansive campaigns and gameplay systems like crafting, spaceship design, loot, boss battles, and more, and they can quickly turn into a nightmare. Nevertheless, there are several open-world games that not only succeed, but stand out as some of the finest in gaming. Let's look at the top 30 best open-world games of all time that are worth playing. Just Cause 2. Although almost all games in the Just Cause series are fine sandbox experiences, the second game is perhaps the best the franchise has to offer. Featuring over-the-top bombastic action set pieces along with stellar mission design, Just Cause 2 features a vast playground to do some of the craziest things possible in video games. Although the combat is disappointing, it's the open world and the crazy amount of destruction that one can do in it that's the real star of the show here. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Though it started as one of the more average titles in the Ghost Recon series, Wildlands eventually developed into a compelling open-world third-person shooter. This is due to the efforts of the developers and additional studios, who supported it over a long period with new content, features like Tier 1, and leveraging the massive setting into something special. Shadow of the Colossus. The brilliance of Team Eco wasn't up for debate after Eco, but Shadow of the Colossus saw it soar to new heights. The core mission of hunting down the Colossi as Wanderer, armed with nothing but a bow, sword, and his horse aggro, resulted in one of the most unorthodox open-world titles yet. Your only focus is on hunting the Colossi with the setting minimalist, and yet, it's aesthetically pleasing and tightly paced, with each offering unique challenges. Far Cry 6. If Far Cry is revamped or overhauled into something else, then Far Cry 6 is a huge way to go out. It's set on the massive island of Yara, and chucks in several mechanics from the standard base clearing and exploration to Supremo backpacks, amigos, vehicle customization, and even a notoriety system. While not the best that the series offers, it's still a fun open world game in its own right. Sunset Overdrive. Insomniac Games' underappreciated masterpiece mixed high-speed action, exciting mobility, and a bombastic art style into a smorgasbord of fun. Sunset City fed into this, serving as an urban playground to run around and jump, grind, wall run, and much more. It also offered some fun activities to showcase your skills and unlock rewards to go with the hordes of OD'd ripe for the killing. Saints Row 4. Perhaps the time when the series fully jumped the shark, Saints Row 4 is also its finest. It envisions Steelport from Saints Row the Third as a simulation with flying, wacky weapons, and aliens to battle. Then it presented special loyalty missions for each crew member that utilized the virtual space imaginatively, with parodies of Metal Gear Solid and beat-em-ups, and caps it all off with a dance number. Truly the series' peak. Sleeping Dogs. Evolving from United Front Games' true crime series, Sleeping Dogs presented a compelling story with an incredible rendition of Hong Kong. Though it won't beat GTA in terms of sheer detail and activities, it was still possible to commit crimes, complete with a heat meter, and engage in carjacking, street racing, and even karaoke. The combat remains a delight, and as the world opens up, it offers several fun activities and side missions to complete. Sons of the Forest. Though it's still in early access, Sons of the Forest builds on everything the original offered, from crafting and base building to the survival mechanics. Its world remains enigmatic, but it's packed with changing seasons that necessitate storing food over time, shifting ecosystems as one tribe vies for control over the other, and silly fun, like slaying down the mountainside. While the current story can be completed in a handful of hours, exploring every nook and cranny of the island and understanding its intricacies can take much longer. Far Cry 2. For its time, Far Cry 2 was a unique open-world experience. Combining action and survival gameplay mechanics, Far Cry 2 delivered a cracking game with engaging combat and intriguing exploration set in a world that was developed with great care and attention to detail. Far Cry 2, even after so many years, stands high among the genre's best games. No Man's Sky. The original gaming redemption story, No Man's Sky, utilizes procedural generation to create a huge universe packed with things to do. You start out repairing your ship to leave a planet and explore the stars, and before you know it, you're building bases, exploring derelicts, building a giant fleet, engaging in massive space battles, exploring oceans, and much more. It's an experience that continues to receive updates and is completely seamless in almost every aspect. Hogwarts Legacy. While it could have scraped by on the IP alone, Portkey Games and Avalanche Software put significant effort into capturing the magic of Hogwarts Castle and the surrounding areas. Flying around with a broom or mount in the countryside is fun, with side quests to complete, enemy camps to clear, and missions to pursue. Watch Dogs 2. The San Francisco Bay Area never looked quite as good as in Watch Dogs 2. Then again, the team wanted to move beyond Chicago, crafting a world twice as large while expanding on the series' hacking aspect. So, while you could hack cars, mobile devices, and more, there were also various other activities like side operations, drone races, and more to cater to the hacker fantasy. Batman Arkham City. Before Marvel's Spider-Man, the Batman Arkham series was the definitive superhero experience. Arkham City remains the pinnacle, revamping Batman's movement to fit in an open-world format and packing the city with villains, secrets, Riddler trophies, AR challenges, and much more to complete. It's still hard to believe that Rocksteady delivered so much with such incredible fidelity and that it still holds up well after all this time. Death Stranding Director's Cut. Death Stranding is a significant departure from Kojima Productions' other works while remaining distinctly Kojima in its tone and presentation. Its beautiful world is as much about delivering goods and fulfilling requests as it is about constructing things and participating in public work projects with other players. While it does offer a suitably insane narrative, just walking around and managing your cargo, worrying about timefall, and avoiding BTs can be calming, in a way. Dying Light Enhanced Edition. Starting as Mirror's Edge meets zombies, Dying Light evolved into a great action RPG over time, packed with incredible weapons and upgrades, fun events, and reasons to revisit the city. It also didn't hurt that the following expansion expanded on things with new mechanics, a vehicle, and fun missions to complete, but the world remained appealing for those who wanted to stomp undead by the hundreds. Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is criticized for many things, whether it's the settlement building, the voiced protagonist. Nevertheless, the Commonwealth presents a compelling location to explore, with other vaults to discover, the mysterious Dunwich Burrows, and locations like Diamond City with its problems to solve. With combat feeling better than previous entries and some strong attention to detail, as long as you don't care about lore, its gameplay loop is fun. Halo Infinite. While it lacked in biome variety, Halo Infinite's open world is on the smaller side but caters to the sandbox gameplay that the series is known for. Zeta Halo offers upgrades, high-value targets, marines to rescue, and forward operating bases to spawn vehicles and fast travel. With a slew of collectibles, interesting weapons to unlock, and support for online co-op, it's a fun experience, whether you're driving around with a marine squad or grappling from one location to the next. Diablo IV. For all of the flaws that Diablo IV had at launch, its open world is still worth noting. Discovering different dungeons and liberating strongholds or engaging in all the little details that each area held could be incredibly fun. With subsequent updates, then much more became more fun and rewarding. Even the horse is much better now. While areas could feel repetitive after a point, scouring the land and discovering everything it held was a blast. Ghosts of Tsushima Director's Cut. Sucker Punch Productions' open-world action-adventure is still stunning to behold. Set on Tsushima Island during the first Mongol invasion, players control Jin Sakai as he embraces subterfuge to take down the invaders. Between liberating villages and fighting Ronin, he could also engage in several side quests, many of them going into further detail on each of his companions. There are also hot springs to discover, haikus to write, and gorgeous landscapes to admire. Outer Wilds. Outer Wilds is woefully underappreciated for what it achieves, a time loop in a space system teeming with mysterious occurrences. You'll visit twin planets that shift sand between each other as they pass, a collapsing planet whose fragments pass through a black hole, a massive aquatic planet with huge cyclones, and many more mysteries. It all ties together fantastically as you attempt to piece it together and perhaps stop the loop. Cyberpunk 2077. While panned for its various bugs and issues at launch, Cyberpunk 2077 still had Night City, represented in incredible detail. As the years rolled on, its identity has been reinforced and expanded into something truly dystopian, and for lack of a better word, cyberpunk. The NPCs roaming the streets with unique identities, the police chases escalating into max tax arrival, everything is lovingly rendered. It also doesn't hurt that there's new content to complete on top of the already compelling side quests. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Following the success of its predecessor, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 offers a map that's about twice as large, packed with activities and backed by gorgeous ray tracing. However, even if you're not interested in collecting Spider-Bots, completing Mysteriums, or fulfilling requests, the sheer number of references and little details are worth web-slinging around for. You can find the Baxter Building and the Fantastic Four's logo on the roof, discover detailed murals that possibly foreshadow the future, and even visit Coney Island for all the attractions that reference supervillains. Forza Horizon 5. The Forza Horizon series has always had a winning formula: explore the world, race, acquire cars, and open festival sites. Forza Horizon 5 saw Playground Games fix what wasn't broken to great results. It established each festival site to focus on different racing disciplines like rally, cross-country, street racing, and PR stunts, allowing more players more freedom of choice. Everything you did ties into accolades, and completing enough earned you a place in the Hall of Fame, thus providing an end goal to chase. Of course, it still offered several Horizon stories, events, playlists, barn finds, and much more to keep fans busy, while Mexico served as an incredible setting with tons of variety and unique conditions. Horizon Forbidden West. It's crazy to think that Guerrilla Games went from the first-person shooter action of the Killzone series into delivering one of the best open-world series. While Zero Dawn made a stellar debut, Horizon Forbidden West improves on it in every way, including the open world. Players have many more traversal options, whether it's the shield wing for gliding or grappling with the polecaster, and the world is rife with enemy camps to clear, tall necks to override, cauldrons to conquer, and powerful machines to fight. The sheer fidelity of the world also can't be overstated, as Aloy ventures to dense forests, lush with green, to barren deserts and vibrant coastlines. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. From the opening words in its prologue to the hundreds of thousands of mods released thus far, there's a reason why the Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim has remained so significant. The tale of the Dragonborn, as they ventured across a region of warring sides and intrigue to ultimately defeat Alduin, delivered an open-world experience like no other. On top of memorable side quests, it's packed with all kinds of little details and secrets, strong writing, even if it became infamous for its bugs. It's perhaps the best example of the Bethesda style of exploration, where you can run in any direction and find dozens of things to do without pursuing the main story and becoming immersed in the world. Grand Theft Auto V. 10 years and over 190 million copies sold. Rockstar Games' Grand Theft Auto V remains its greatest success. Much of this is due to GTA Online and its continued support, but it all started from the same place. That is, delivering a realistic, open world packed with details and things to discover. You could go on a violent crime spree as easily as playing tennis or hunting wild animals. There were ghosts to discover, shops to rob, targets to assassinate, and so much more. And that doesn't even get into the incredible story of Michael, Franklin, and Trevor. Whether you liked it for the combat, the driving, the heists, or the sheer size of the open world, Grand Theft Auto V remains iconic. The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt. Did CD Projekt Red have to go so overboard with The Witcher 3: Wild Hunt? Probably not, but its massive regions, the detail in the side quests, the fidelity of its environments, and the quality of the storytelling put it above and beyond so many of the open world games at the time, and even today. As Geralt, you're on a quest to find Ciri before the Wild Hunt, but get caught up in hunting monsters to make ends meet, a war between regions, and discrimination in Novigrad. Of course, there's still time for the odd spot of Gwent, horse racing, Witcher school gear hunting, and much more, which are expanded on further in the excellent expansions. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. When it was first announced, the obvious question was how it could top the original. The new abilities from Ultra Hand and Fuse to Ascend and Recall expand on traversal and allow for new possibilities, from reinforcing weapons to creating machines. It's a well-rounded and fun experience polished to a T with unforgettable sounds. Starfield. Yeah, Starfield has several empty planets, save for the flora, fauna, and procedurally generated activities on them. However, its cities like New Atlantis and Neon are teeming with things to do and side quests to complete, from locating key items to corporate espionage. The sheer attention to detail in some locations is also worth noting. And even if you're not flying seamlessly through the universe with your ship, hanging out in orbit and discovering space stations, dogfights, and more can be super enthralling. Elden Ring. You could dismiss Elden Ring as an open-world Dark Souls, but as From Software proves, it's the execution which ultimately matters. It took several lessons from other open-world games and applied its own spin, creating the lands between with its share of secrets and horrors for players to discover. It expanded on the series' solid combat with tons of weapons, spells, and armors to discover, not to mention powerful bosses to fight. Perhaps most importantly, it offered an incredible sense of discovery that didn't hold the player's hand and massive areas like Royal Lindale Capital to explore. Red Dead Redemption 2. Opinions may differ on what makes a game great, but few can argue that Red Dead Redemption 2's open world is one of the very best in gaming. From the moment it opens up, Rockstar's Epic offers gorgeous vistas packed with forests, plains, and towns, each with activities to discover. Realism is a key aspect of the game, and every action you take, whether it's gunning down civilians to help those in need, affects your reputation and how others perceive you. Of course, it's also in the little things, from the extensive animations of skinning hunted animals to maintaining your appearance, backed by an amazing story which really put Red Dead Redemption 2 over the top. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.